Welcome back, everybody, to the Nerdcore Podcast, the podcast reviews of movies and talks that nerd shit. This is episode 561, and it is your review of Scream 6. As always, it is the nerd you're gonna hear with my co-host for today, Luis.
Yo, for today, like I wasn't a co-host the other
Yeah,
couple
yeah.
months.
Think you were here on the last
Whatever.
episode.
I think I was here in the last couple episodes.
Yeah,
Original Brad is out with the hubby
yeah.
with on Disneyland. Is it?
Yep,
Yeah.
Disneyland.
Okay.
Yeah, they're in Disneyland having fun.
Yeah.
In the most magical place on earth, right? Well, we gotta we gotta review shit. So, but today we're not here alone. Today we're being joined by both of the boys from the Woodsboro Retrospective. Of course, you've heard Mikey before on the Cinema Condition, but joining us for the first time, we've got Don.
What's up, man? Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Damn
thanks, guys.
straight,
We
man.
appreciate it.
Yes,
Yeah, dude.
sir.
Yeah, Raul told me about you guys when we first started watching the Scream movies, which is what we're talking about today. For the audience, I didn't read the title, but he's been trying apparently so hard to get you guys on, but you guys are busy men, so it is what it is. But we're glad to finally have you on for this one
Oh
day.
yeah, it's exciting. We've been talking all things Scream for like months on end now.
Yeah.
It feels like we're finally wrapping that up, and we're excited to talk Scream 6 now here on this platform. Thanks for
Yeah.
having us once again.
Awesome,
Bro,
dude.
that's great. Look at that. My brother.
Bro, that man
Yeah.
has a spidey tingle whenever does he have your
Whenever I go live.
notifications on? Yeah.
Whenever I go live. Yeah. But I'm really happy to have you boys here. We are going to be talking Scream 6 today, but of course before we get into any of that, Luis, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Yesterday was chaotic to say the least. And I just got to bring this up, especially after Trump's new immigration policies. It's got to be your own people that put you down when you're going to an immigration office building, when you're not even part, you're just there to translate. I'm not even part of the group, and they still got they think I don't know English, so they got to sneak in that English in there. But yeah, aside from that, I'm good. I'm good. Business is booming. Content is being contenty. Yeah. How about you
Damn
guys
straight.
down here, Michael, Don?
Yeah, mostly good. It's really cold in California right now, which we're not super used to. It snowed like a few weeks ago, which was insane. Happy that the internet is okay. Donovan and I have been having like a multitude of issues because of the weather out here. But yeah, mostly good. Mostly good. Excited to talk with you guys and excited to get some gaming on later. I just got the new WWE game, so I'll probably be
Oh,
playing that right
crap.
after this.
Yeah.
Oh
That's dope.
man. That's dope.
You're gonna make Raul jealous. He can't play any
Yeah.
games.
I don't play games
No,
anymore. It's hard, man. Don,
that is tough.
what's going on over there in the East Coast, baby?
Not much, man. It actually snowed here on the East Coast for about 10 minutes this morning. So that's probably not good that it's snowing on both coasts at the same time. But been chilling. I was telling you before we went live that I've seen this movie 3 times now. Been thinking about it a lot. So excited to have another outlet to talk about it.
To go at it, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Eventually, it's like we're gonna get Don to speak about Scream on every single podcast. Apparently, yeah. But
Dude.
I'm really happy y'all are here, y'all, man. I mean, these boys, what's it called? These are good friends of mine. I love these boys, and I'm glad that we finally were able to get Don here to do this because Mikey's been on the podcast before. We've done work before together, and Don's just never been here. Even though I talked to Don a lot, but we just never got the chance to get Don in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that will be it. Let's go ahead and get into it because I'm sure we are going to have a lot to talk about. And I also just noticed I also don't have my info pulled up, but it's okay because I can
Alright.
always just keep talking and I can
Well,
just pull it up like
It's a
that.
little,
So
just a little stall.
yeah,
yeah,
we're not very structurally sound. We're like built on a reservation, the ground's a little shaken.
yeah,
Support beams have been put up every now
That's
and
okay. It
then.
makes for the free flow of this conversation to go well, I find,
Oh,
without
100%.
structure. That's always the
Yeah.
best.
damn
Yeah,
straight, damn
100%,
straight.
dude. The amount of times I'm almost broken copyright though is
Oh yeah,
astounding
no,
to the
no, no,
point
no,
he's
no,
wanted to
no,
kick
no.
me out. But we live in the same city, so if he wanted to kick me out, I'd just pull up, open up the
Oh
key
yeah,
to his
just scrap it out a
apartment,
little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next showing, he's like, "Yeah, guys. So Luis has been kicked out from the group. Behind him, from the shadows of his room, right there, just in the Studio Ghibli poster. I don't know if you can tell. That's a giant ass Studio Ghibli poster he hasn't hung up.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
come out of that
Yeah.
like mirror.
Yeah.
Fucking what was
Well,
Mirror Man? No, fucking. Damn, I'm messing up my DC, and I'm a DC boy. That's crazy. All right. Anyways,
yeah.
did you get the information up?
Yep, I got my info
All right,
up.
go
So
ahead.
that is going to go ahead and lead into this. So if you have not seen Scream 6 or any of the other 5 films that have come out, then it's your chance to get out of here if you care about spoilers. But if you don't care about spoilers or you've already seen all the films, including Scream 6, then you can go ahead and stay. Either way, how any of that goes, this is your one and only spoiler warning. And it is in effect in a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes, sir. Let's
You want to
go
play
ahead and do
a
this. I
game?
got a lot to read from Wikipedia. So, y'all just go ahead and sit back and relax here.
Let's do it.
Scream 6 is a 2023 American slasher film directed by Matt Benitelli Olpin and Tyler Gillette and written by James Vanderbilt and Guy Busick. It is the sequel to Scream 2022, or how it is known around these parts as Five Cream, and the sixth installment in the Scream film series. The film stars Melissa Barrera, Jasmine Savoy Brown,
Mhm.
Mason Gooding, Jenna Ortega, Hayden Pan- oof, Hayden Panettiere, and Courtney
All
Cox,
right.
all reprising their roles from previous installments, including Jack Champion, Henry Sersney, Liana Liberato, Dermot Mulroney, Daphne Nicola, Tony Revolori, Josh Segara, yeah, and Samara Weaving. Scream 6 follows a new Ghostface killer who targets the surviving members of the Woodsboro legacy attacks in New York City. Like its predecessors, the film combines the violence of the slasher genre with elements of black comedy and a whodunit mystery, and satirizes the trends of film franchises and subversion of audience expectations. Film series star Nev Campbell announced she would not be returning as Sidney Prescott because she felt the offer presented to her was unacceptable, making this the first film in the series not to feature the character. Scream 6 premiered at the AMC Lincoln Square Theater in Manhattan on March 6, 2023, and was theatrically released in the United States on March 10th by Paramount Pictures. The film received generally positive reviews from critics who praised the kills and performances. Shot by Brett Jutkowicz. Fuck. Edited by Jay Prichdini. Oh, music is done by Brian Tyler and Sven Falconer. And it sits at 2 hours and 2 minutes. And with a budget of $33 to $35 million, it has so far made $70.7 million at the box office. So it is on its way to becoming a success.
Yep.
Yep. And with that, I'll go ahead and start from the bottom to the top.
All right.
Mikey, what are your initial thoughts on Scream 6?
Okay, so having seen it twice and having watched this series like a plethora of times in the past few months in preparation for this movie, I really enjoyed it. There are things that even in like recording other podcasts and talking about this movie extensively, I'm sure even in talking about it today, I'll probably get some new opinions on the film. But I enjoyed it overall. This is probably, other than Scream 3, the movie I have the most problems with in the series. But it's not saying much, as I've enjoyed and loved all of these. I'm very biased to this series. It's my favorite horror franchise. As a fan, was not let down. Definitely saw a lot of opportunity for maybe better moments or just little things and little nitpicks I didn't enjoy. And it was just a lot of them in this movie. Not a lot of big problems, just a lot of little things that kind of grinded my gears. But overall, for 2 watches, it's still a Scream movie at the end of the day. Still a great time at the movies.
No.
Sick. Donovan, what are your initial thoughts on Scream 6?
Yeah, I had a really good time with Scream 6. I'm glad I got to see it a few times before I kind of started doing the gauntlet and talking about it online, because I think I got a lot more on my rewatches. I think I echo a lot of the critics, and the performances are great. I think the writing is some of the best in the series. Really endears you to those core characters. Performances are great, and some awesome kills. I have some issues with it too, maybe more than I did with 5 last year. I'm wrestling with that in my head, but I think it's a damn good time. It's a really good Scream movie.
All right, Luis.
Yeah, dude. We only got to see it once. We usually tend to go at least once, and then if we get a chance, we'll go see it again. You know, if we have no other movies. But March is packed,
Oh yeah.
so we're saving up our AMC A list to reserve those seatings. But Scream 6, dude, it really outdid what I was expecting it to do. Where now in now's generation, which this movie's hella meta, so they already accounted to it in the dialogue that they did in the script writing. I'm always afraid of sequels to the remakes or requels, as they mention in the film. But it outdid that fear, and I think at least for the Scream franchise, if they continue making them, I have without a doubt that it'll be good watches nonetheless, especially after having 6 done to from the 90s up until 2023, which is crazy because in there's old school franchises that have tried to do what Scream does and they failed miserably. You know, it ended tonight or last year.
Yeah, I think you know
Yeah.
damn well which one you're talking about.
But yeah,
Uh,
the movie is a great time. Actors killed it, and the writing's phenomenal.
yeah. Um, I am going to echo a lot of the thoughts here. I will say that I have been wrestling with this thought in my head of whether this is my favorite Scream movie or not.
Oh man.
Uh,
Yeah.
I love the original so much. I mean, it's the one that starts this franchise off, and it really just introduces you to like this beautiful world of like meta and like a bunch of kills that are so cool to watch and stuff like that. But like, man, I cannot explain in words how much fun I had with this movie. I mean, this movie just did it for me. And guys, I mean, I don't know if this is gonna be controversial, but I love Scream 5. I love Scream
Yeah,
5.
I think we're all in that
Same.
camp on this end too.
Yeah.
We love
Same.
Scream 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people were like, "Oh man, fuck that movie!" Like, just like all like the little
Yeah.
bit of
Yeah.
like, you know,
Totally.
digs it did at like toxic fandoms and stuff like that, and people started to not like that. But I love that movie, so I went into this. I was like, okay, let's see how this is gonna do compared to Scream 5 because I really, really, really liked Scream 5, and man, I went in there and I just walked out and I said, this franchise continues to be consistent. There is no bad movie in this franchise. Even the one that I don't like as much as the other, like Scream 4, I freaking love this one. Like this one just I still think to this day that this franchise continues to be a damn good franchise where just every single movie has something to give you.
Yeah, definitely, dude. That's a deep sentiment, especially with the with the film community in general just being topsy turvy. I'm like, oh, these films are coming out, but they're like, there's no good cinema or whatever nowadays and whatnot. This kind of just goes to show that there's still good movies out there. You just got to give them a chance to go see.
Yeah. I also thought like I don't know what y'all are thinking here, but like I said, damn bro, David Arquette ain't gonna be in this one anymore. Dewey's done, and I was like, okay, we'll see how they can handle it, especially without freaking Sydney. I mean, I
Yeah,
still to me I felt like Sydney's presence was still not felt anymore, and like it really felt like it kind of brought the film down a couple notches for me. Like I was like, okay, like I really do feel her absence here. Like I really wish, like in
hmm
this scene, you had Nev Campbell.
Hmm.
What's it called? Yeah, Nev Campbell here, and I don't know. I mean, how did y'all feel about the
how do
absence of
you guys
Sydney in
feel
this
about
one?
that?
You know
Honestly,
what? It's something that like we had talked about for a while, like leading up to this, even like off air, and
Mhm.
obviously it's jarring because this whole series has been revolved around Sydney. All the
Yeah,
motives pretty much revolved around Sydney for the previous Ghost Faces. But I think 5 kind of wrapped her story really well, and
Yeah,
even in like Scream 3, I feel like her story could have easily ended there too. Like that could have been her happy ending as well. And I love that she came back for the last movie.
yeah,
Her absence is definitely felt more so in the writing for me, I think, and how they kind of like just quickly gloss over the fact that she's not there.
yeah.
But her not being in the movie did not detract from my enjoyment of it necessarily, I would say.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I love Sydney Prescott. She's one of my favorite characters in film. I think she's the best final girl, and I didn't mind that she wasn't in this movie. Narratively, I have a lot of problems with the Nev Campbell contract issues.
Oh,
But
of course.
absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
in the movie, I didn't mind that the character Sydney Prescott was gone, and I didn't really even think about it until they tell you in the movie, "Oh yeah, Sydney's not in this one." And I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, she isn't.
Yeah.
But no, and I think the reason I was able to look past that was because of these new characters, the young generation of Scream characters. Yeah, the core four: Sam, Tara, Chad, and Mindy. I love them so much. I think they're all great in 5 and in 6. They just take them to another level.
Yeah.
To where if they announce another Scream movie, as long as those 4 are in it, like I'm down. I'm game for whatever you've got going on. So yeah, I think that was a huge part of it for me.
Yeah, I think glossing the dialogue where it's just glossing over is like, is Sydney okay? And then Courtney Cox's character just going, yeah, she grabbed the kids and went into hiding or whatever. I'm like, we know actively that she's outside. Whatever's happening, if she hears Ghostface mention, that PT is gonna kick and it's gonna go mama bear defense type of deal, especially now with her kids. We get that, but it definitely felt like a blunt end of like, oh, we know Neve Campbell can't be in here, so although we can't actively have her in here, we know you guys want her, so here's a little smidge, a little crumb of that trail. But yeah, the main characters definitely help on it feeling not completely empty, especially since they tie it complete, like you said, they tie it off for her story and Scream 5, but they still kind of keep it connected to where Sam's character was friends with Kirby, with Miss Penitentiary. That's what I call
Penitentiary,
yeah, I
bro.
always said her name wrong, so it just stuck. But because back then they were in high school, so that would mean Sam was technically in their school while the whole Scream 4 was going around, so they knew about it and whatnot. So I kind of like that. I kind of dig it. Like, she was always there, she just wasn't completely there. But now, like, the curse has passed on. I kind of dig that. But yeah, that whole like smidge, I was like, they could have done without it. But the punch, I will say, I want to add the reminder of the first punch that Sydney
Got
threw,
hands,
and
bro.
then and then she dodges it, but Jenna comes in, throws a sucker punch at her, which, by the way, looked hella real. I don't know to you guys.
Yeah, it looked like a good swing.
Yeah, that
Yeah, it
looked
looks
like
sick,
stunt double
bro.
had to take that one. But yeah, no, like, I agree with you what you guys were saying.
Yeah.
What about you, Raul?
Yeah, like I said, I felt her presence like was missing, and I there were scenes like, just every time that Courtney Cox was there, like I just kept thinking like, oh man, like, fuck, I mean, I wish that Sydney was here, and
Yeah.
I don't like the way they kind of wrote her off. But I also know that if you were to say like, oh, Sydney's dead, you would have a
It's way
big
worse.
fuss on your hands. Like that would
Yeah.
be a worse decision. So they're just like, oh yeah, I mean, but I get the idea of like, I get what Mikey's saying, like, oh, Scream 5 really does kind of wrap her story up pretty well,
Mhm.
and I'm like, yeah, and to an extent, also 3, but
Yeah.
yeah, I just, it's just, to me, Sydney is my favorite final girl. She is to me the best final girl, and it just felt like I wish that she would have been back in this one, and to give her the proper, like, the actual proper send off that she deserves, because she's,
Mhm.
she's given this franchise her love, her sweat, and her tears, and she's given so much to it, man. And I know that in a world where that contract would have been right for her, and they would have offered her what she deserves, that this movie would have been a little different.
Yeah.
But also, something I wanted to bring up was, because I know that Don and Mike, you're big fans of Scream 4. How do we feel about Kirby coming back? Because I love Kirby in Scream 4. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of Scream 4, I still was like, damn, like I really like the fact that they brought back Kirby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was all over that decision. I actually love Scream 4. It was my favorite Scream sequel before these new films came out, and Kirby's a big reason why. So I still remember when they dropped that news headline that Hayden Panettiere was coming back for Scream, and she has such a reverence for this franchise. I think she was the one that sought out the new filmmakers. Was like, you guys are doing another Scream, you got to bring Kirby back. And I think she's really cool in this one. I like that she has changed a lot. I mean, she's an FBI agent now. Never saw that
Mhm.
coming after the last movie.
Yeah,
But she's still got that Kirby in her. She's still got that sass, that love of horror. Every time she was on screen, I was just smiling that she was back in the franchise. I thought it was so cool that they roped her into the new story.
hmm
Yeah, I was happy to see her too. I think the thing is, and once again, this is like one of my little problems with the movie that added up to slightly detracting from my enjoyment of it. I just wish that she had more, I guess. I don't know how to really explain it. It's not necessarily her duration in the movie. I think she's in the movie the perfect amount, but I just wish that they gave her a little bit more, like fleshed out a little bit of what we missed in between the last time we saw Kirby and right now.
Gotcha, yeah.
All we got is that she is an FBI agent, and it seems like she's not the best FBI agent, judging by the events of this film. As much as I love Kirby, it is lovely to see her back, and I'm more excited, honestly, for the potential usage of the character going forward, especially as the movie wrapped. I really enjoyed her last scene in the film. Her last couple lines really, gave me hope that this is just a little tease back of Kirby just getting to know this group, and we'll see it more evolve and see more of her in the next one if they continue doing this.
Yeah, please bring her back. Yeah.
I definitely thought throughout the film after I think it was a couple of days after I seen it where it hit me of the way she was introduced in the movie, and kind of not her duration like you said, but the actual story of her lore, if you will. I think it does make segue, not saying that they are, to the people that always misinterpret what people say on the internet, but it's a good point to do if they would want a series solely on Kirby, because she, if you guys
Mm.
remember, there was a line in the movie that said, "I personally take candles on Ghostface cases," which means they're either talking specifically about the shit that happened to Sydney, or there's been other similar cases or copycats that's happened around, like the states. And she, after the whole PTSD and like the whole trauma of that, she was like, let me become a FBI agent, and my first case on is this Ghostface quote unquote killer that kind of takes over. I'd say you
Mm.
can write a good, pretty, at least one season of a show like that,
Procedural, man, a procedural series based on
With
Kirby.
Kirby, that'd be pretty cool.
That'd
Yeah,
be
like
freaking awesome, dude.
you get hints at whom the killer might be throughout the say, call it 9, since that's like a nice number currently for a lot of shows like for HBO and stuff.
Yeah.
But I would like slow build up, and all what's the show? It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, with the pinboard and the things, just people online trying to figure out who it is from weekly episodes. That would be, I'd watch that. I'd pay HBO again to go see it after my cancellation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, that would be really cool. Like, and I know that this belongs to Paramount, so I don't think they'd be on HBO, but I would
Oh
laugh
yeah,
my
yeah.
ass off. I would laugh my ass off if when that GCPD show comes out for the Batman, they just drop it
Oh,
on the same day and be like, "Here you go, you get your super serious procedural show about the
yeah, yeah.
GCPD." And then on Paramount Plus, you have a Scream series where it's based on Kirby as a procedural
And I'm gonna
FBI
be
agent. That'd
honest,
be
I know
great.
which one might get more views just overall.
Yeah.
I know who my I know who my favorite record is, because that
I know
show.
what I'd be watching.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know what
same.
I'd be watching, man.
Yeah.
Because
I also have to say that Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega did a great job, man.
love them.
Look, I
So
when I
good.
saw them on that first one, I was like, okay, cool. We're bringing in some new people and whatnot. We're like, all right, and they did do a good job here. But man, I felt that in this one, they really got a sense of their characters. They really
Yeah.
understood exactly the time that passed between 5 and 6 and how this changed the psyche of their characters.
Mhm.
And their chemistry was just on a whole other level in this one. And I really liked it. So they stood out to me. They were some of the standouts here. I love the core four characters. They're such great characters, and I love that we're gonna have more time with them. And I think that it was absolute bullshit how Chad still ended up alive.
Yeah.
Like that man was getting stabbed like he was Julius Caesar being fucking by the Romans. Like,
Yeah.
no way did this guy freaking what's it called live. What was funny is that at first I couldn't see exactly what he pointed, so I thought they were just stabbing him and just cut off his fingers because he went, like Luis said, he just held up his fingers, and I was
Yeah,
like,
he went like this.
oh, so that's the reason he's alive, because he fucking got his fingers chopped off, and it's like, no,
Yeah.
dude, he's holding up the board because he's the core four. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, but
Yeah. Dude,
yeah,
that my excuse, my joke was after the movie, I hit him with that. We were going through the whole like, what they cut off his fingers, dude. That's crazy. I'm like, no. After that ordeal, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna chalk it up to Dewey's spirit. After all the stabbings that he's been through, he passed down his protection spell or whatever
yeah.
to the core four. Because Jesus Christ, man, from
Yeah.
Jenna to the sister to Chad getting stabbed in the general just intestine area, and they're still alive is pretty amazing. Not gonna lie. They
Yeah,
need
it
to
seems
study
like
them
this
at
this
Harvard.
new core four has like what you said, like a protection spell or something. Any wound to the gut or the back is not a kill,
Yeah.
regardless of duration or amount. It really doesn't matter. That's actually like one of the problems I have with this movie. I don't mind that Chad survived. Like
Yeah, yeah.
I'm so happy that he's alive. I would love to see that character continue to evolve. Like he improved so much from the last movie and going into this one. He was kind of the heart of this one. So I love that he was back. I just wish that the attack was less severe if that was going to be the outcome of it all, you know?
Yeah.
I was definitely kind of furling my eyebrows when they reveal he's alive at the end. But it's something that me and Michael talked about. And I think at this point, it's just you have to kind of just let go and accept that like, the Scream movies have different rules when it comes to like the damage a knife does to the human body. It's
Yup.
like unless they're either slitting your throat, stabbing you in the head, or like ripping your insides out, like you can survive. I mean, even
Yeah.
Sidney Prescott gets stabbed right in the stomach at the end of Scream 5. And she's just sitting on the back of the like hospital, the
And Gil
ambulance,
gets
like
shot. I mean,
Yeah.
this is nothing. This is nothing new. It's just that this is the most extreme case of it happening,
Yes,
and that's what
yes.
makes it like what the fuck is going on. But other than that, I mean, it is what it is. I think this movie also, in rewatching it the second time, and I'm excited to watch it the third time, I think it is aware. I think it is completely aware of how stupid this is. And I think on the first watch, it was kind of like, what? And then on the second one, I was like, all right, this whole last act is buying into this idea of fully sending the camp and the silliness to the maximum level. So it is what it is. I'm sure on the next watch, it'll bother me less, but yeah.
You know what's meta about it too is that they'll probably bring up something like I remember, I think it was in the second one, right after the first one, Dewey does get stabbed in the back. In the second one, he also gets stabbed in the back. And the excuse that they gave for the third one when they're on the college campus was, yeah, the knife just so happened to hit me again in the same spot that it hit me when when Stu and Billy got me. And I'm like, I don't know if that's how that works. I know after an injury, you get reinforced. But all right, Dewey's just that guy, But yeah, those
you selling
definitely
that
were over
bag,
the
bro.
top.
You selling that bag like Roman Reigns be selling it, bro. Be like, oh look, the Shield turned on me and they hit me with the chair. So now I gotta
the
really
fall on
sell
the
this.
ropes and everything. Yeah.
I really gotta sell this back when anybody hits me on this bag. The weakest back in the world. And apparently Chad has the strongest freaking stomach in the world too.
I mean, just his whole torso, really. His chest, his stomach, his shoulder area.
He's gonna look like Oliver Queen when he's showing his back and he's doing the whole Russian transition. Me IRL, me personally, I was cheering, because I'm a fan of Jenna. Movie me, I'm like, all right, no, the boy, right? But yeah, that entire thing. I will say, after seeing that, and then the two Ghostface doing the cleanup of the knife synchronically, however you say it, that was badass. That was awesome, that gave me out. Yeah, I was like, all right, I'll excuse you for the Chad bit. Let's just not do it again.
Yeah, it's even funnier like watching it, and it's like a really emotional moment. Like Jenna Ortega is like crying, and he's like, "Go run," and he's just like foaming out the mouth, just blood. And then immediately you get like the sickest moment in this movie with the double knife slash. You completely forget how fucked up that scene was.
Dude. I'm like, all right, fuck, man. Yeah, this what was the one thing that I did want to bring up was, God dang it, I forgot. I'll see if I bring it up. I don't know if you want to bring up
like how we felt about the overall twist. I mean, really, it being Quinn and her brother and her father. Which, by the way, I what's it called when we first started watching this, when we get to the theater and we're going. At first, I had this mind in the back of my head, and I didn't tell Luis because I was like, okay, we're barely starting this, but I was like, man, what if it's the police officer? But then they like kill Quinn, and I'm like, okay, no, it's not the police officer. I'm like, okay, and they had me for a fucking moment. They did. They had
Yeah.
me for a moment when they were like,
Yeah.
Kirby has been what's it called discharged. Like she was there. She was
Yeah.
like, she's
Yeah,
mentally.
yeah.
When I was like, fuck, it's Kirby. Like no, no, and
The guys next to us too, they were adamant about it not being
yeah,
Kirby. I'm like, I knew they wanted it to be Kirby so bad to be surprised. They were like, no. I'm like, first of all,
yeah,
calm down a little bit. You're getting a little too loud. It's kind of quiet now. But second of all, I'm like, nah, it can't be. I'm like,
no,
I'm against it. I'm like, it's Kirby. Like she went all through this with Sydney. This can't like be like a trigger point for her to go psycho and just do this entire moment, right? But they definitely sold that twist. I don't know how you guys feel about it.
Yeah, I think the thing with it is that I called Bailey, Detective Bailey, pretty quick. Like right
Mhm.
when the bodega scene happened, it seemed like he lured them there. Like he immediately calls Sam and is like, "You need to come right now," and then she gets attacked. And he's clearing the place out like a cop. Like he
Yeah.
knows how to use the shotgun. He knows how to disarm. He's going around through the corners and whatnot. So I kind of pinned him. The Quinn thing was the biggest thing that kind of threw me, I think,
Yeah.
because I mean, if you're a fan of these movies, you know an off-screen death is generally a fake out, right? But we actually got to like see her body like get thrown out and blood
Yeah.
everywhere and everything, and we got his reaction to it as well. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. I'm not really sure what Quinn's role is. It kind of felt like very insignificant at that point. And when we get to the twist, I really loved all three of the killers in this. I know a lot of people I've heard and like talking with other people podcasting and stuff. A lot of people had a problem with Ethan. I thought Ethan was good. Like I understand that all of these movies have to have like a stew kind of killer that's a little
Yeah.
bit crazier. I almost wish that role went to Quinn instead. But I did
Mm.
that
not
would have been
mind
interesting. Yeah,
Ethan at all either. I thought that was a good twist. They really endear you to him, and I thought they did a good job of really making you sympathize with his position of like, I'm just the
Yeah.
new guy, dude. Like at the beginning, he's like, I don't even know if I'm one of your friends. Like, and now I'm both a suspect and I'm a target. And I thought that was a very compelling little side plot until the reveal. But yeah, I liked all three killers. I love how Dermot Mulroney just goes full camp too in the last act
yeah,
of this
Yeah.
he
movie.
does, bro. He does.
Yeah.
He
Uh,
goes, yeah.
For me, it was Quinn was the one that I first had at the top of my suspect list in the very like opening of the movie, first 20-30 minutes, when she has that line to Tara after the party where she's like, yeah, after we lost my brother, and like as she says that,
Mm.
like sirens are like going off in my head. I'm like, your brother died. Who's your brother? He's obviously somebody we know. Um, and even when she died, that line still stuck in my head. I didn't think it was a fake out death. I thought she was dead there, but I was like, she's still a part of this somehow. Like she is definitely connected to this. So when
Mhm.
that reveal happened and we learned that they were Richie's family, I was like, holy shit. I love their motive. I think it's cool that we get a family of killers. We've never
Mm.
had a trio, Ghostface, let alone ones that are all related, father, son, and then father and daughter as well.
Mhm.
And I think they're all great performance wise. I was eating of everything they were doing in that third act. I had no complaints about their performances.
Yeah, dude.
yeah,
I think to me the reason why I overall I always go into movie like Glass Onion, the first Knives Out, stuff like that where it's the mystery, you try to figure out who it is. I always try to get my best to do it, but for the Scream one, I've always tried it for the I think until 4 I stopped while I was watching it with Raul. And I was like, let me just let them lay out everything and be surprised by the end.
Mm.
Because I'm like I forgot her name, the sister from Chad or
Mindy?
Mindy.
Oh,
Mindy,
Mindy.
yeah. I'm like her. I'm like I got it wrong again. I'm like I might as well just stop. So I'm like, but there was a point where when Richie's number rang, where I was like, this
Hmm.
has to do something with him. It just can't be like a callback to the fifth movie, right? It has to do
Yeah.
something with him, but in what sense? And then that's
Yeah.
where I kind of like started trying to figure that pieces, but then I threw it all away. The same reasoning with like seeing Mindy thrown out, and then the sympathizing with Ethan and all that. I'm like, okay, I don't think it's them, but you know, they're still a suspect, right? And then by the end, I'm like, God damn it, I would have died. I would have been dead by trusting them.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, the plot twist on that was crazy. And I've only ever seen their dad, Mr. What was his
Maroney.
Maroney. I've only seen him a New Girl when he stayed with
Yeah, hell yeah.
so that's the only character trait
Which
that
he
I
is
know.
so good on too. Let's
He's
give him a
good,
shout out
yeah,
for his New
yeah.
Girl performance. He's so good on the seasons that he's
He's
in.
good. Yeah. So I'm like, well, he plays kind of not a complete asshole, but he's definitely like tired of it all. So I'm like, I can't bring that into this. It's two different genres. So I'm like, but yeah, that twist where he goes cynical and he reveals himself as like, you know, and then it made sense on why he said nobody fucks with my family. I'm like, all right,
Yes, yes.
all
I
right.
think this movie does a lot of good, and something I love about like my favorite Scream movies is the watching the paper trail on a
Mm,
rewatch when you're kind of getting the little clues and figuring it out.
yeah.
Like Donovan said, like the sister Quinn saying like, "Oh, we lost my brother," and all this stuff. The Richie thing I think is also really interesting and weird and cool. Like
Mhm.
that is not something if you made me sit down and like write 50 predictions about this movie prior to it coming out, I would Richie would not have been anywhere near that list or
Mm,
on that list. Obviously, it's like a throwback to Scream One, transitioning to Scream Two with
dude, yep.
Billy's mom and whatnot. And like Donovan said, I think it's cool that it was a family, and even the motives, like they touch on it a little bit. I wish they delved into a little bit more. But one of the lines that Ethan says is like, before you kill someone, you have to assassinate their character first, and that kind of ties into the whole pitting the murders on Sam and the Reddit
Right.
thing. And I thought,
Yeah.
what a great progression from the last movie. And they throw out the motive of the last movie, literally with the opening kills. It said, fuck, who gives a fuck about the movie? And we
Who
were
gives a fuck about
immediately
the
thrust
movie?
into something so different and so weird. So I thought it was a really cool, bold choice. I wish they did a little bit more with, but on paper
Yeah.
and on the base level, it was awesome.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
that's why a lot of like what is it, murder podcasts, like the actual real life murders and stuff. I guess I understand
True
why
crime.
those
Yeah.
guys at True Crime, there we go. I understand why those guys are able to solve some of these cases, because looking back at past information with modern resources and stuff, it
Mm.
becomes very adamant of like how you can pinpoint every little thing, right? But I do remember one thing that I wanted to bring up was Samara Wearing's
Yeah.
character, because
Mm.
she was the first one, and to me, she definitely has the potential to be a scream queen because of just her performance of Ready or Not, which was the first time I've ever like come to know her for as a leading role, and she killed it, that role. And her screaming is like, she puts her whole throat and voice into that scream, because you believe, like, if they were on set, if they're probably on Real Street in New York or something filming that scene, New York is gonna mind their own business, be like, all right, that's happening right now, you know. This is
It's
like,
another day in New York.
yeah, like if it sounds fake, people are gonna come and treat it like, oh, fuck is that? But if it sounds real, you know, you're gonna mind your own business.
Yeah.
But she killed that minimal role, and same with
Yeah.
Flash. Like his character in the
Tony
film, like
Revolori, man. Which, by the way, I feel personally attacked by that. Come on, y'all. What's it called? Y'all had to have the fucking Vertigo poster right in the background. Y'all
He's
couldn't make
got
it more.
letterbox thing too.
Yeah, the
he's
Yeah.
letterbox
got
thing too. Yeah,
he's
like
got
y'all couldn't
Vertigo
make it
in
more.
there.
Yeah,
He got
y'all couldn't
Psycho.
have.
We see.
Yeah,
Oh
it's just like
man.
in Promising Young Woman, which is completely unrelated. But when they go back, when that first dude that takes that one girl back, and he has a fucking Fellini Satyricon poster in the background, and it's the Criterion Collection with cover, I was like, come on, man. I know what you're going for, but damn. Um,
Trying to tell you something.
yeah, but yeah, but man, I love that twist. It was really cool, and I was like, it really got me. Where I was like, oh crap, I didn't know that this was where we were going down. And I love a lot of what they did in that third act, especially with Melissa. But it was just kind of like oh, like I'm in this like moral dilemma here where I don't know whether I'm going to continue in the footsteps of being this good sister to my sister, or like fuck, am I really going down the dark path of my dad? Who, when I'm looking at this knife and I'm looking at the screen, like, and she puts on, the ghost face costume. It's just, I really like how they play with that. And they're kind of like teasing a little bit of what might come in Scream 7. We don't know. And I just really liked it. I really like this movie, y'all. I can tell y'all
Yeah.
that this movie really just did it for me, to the point where when I get out of that and I tell Luis this might be my favorite Scream movie, that's
I
saying
am
something.
surprised. Yeah, dude, because he
Because
doesn't
I
like
love that
anything.
original.
He's
Yeah.
this year's shit. No, but yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm curious, Ro, what's your favorite sequence or set piece in the movie? Because I know I love the ladder scene in the apartment. That whole sequence is like
Oh
that's like the
yeah,
scene I take away from this movie. I'm wondering what yours is.
dude, it's got to be that one too. Yeah, just because I know, like, I'm somebody who has a fear of heights. So when,
Mm.
like,
Ooh,
she's doing
yeah.
that, and like when they try to get, what's her name,
Poor
Mindy's
Devin,
Annika,
girlfriend.
man. Rest in
Annika,
peace.
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh my god, girl, you just got gutted, bro.
Yeah,
Stop. Like,
shouldn't have been walking.
Jesus Christ, man. Also, if Annika would have lived past that, that's where I really would have stood up from that
Oh,
chair and been
dude,
like,
yeah,
fuck
absolutely. No way.
bullshit.
No shot.
Yeah. But I like that one. I also just love the whole set piece of like the theater dedicated to Ghostface, and really kind of like hammering in like, yo, Richie was really obsessed with this shit. Like, Richie
Yeah.
really liked this shit too much, to the point where like, you all should have noticed these red flags as a child. Like,
Yeah.
this is
I mean, they were all
crazy.
red flags. Let's be honest, because
Yeah.
I
they
love
just
too that
yeah,
Detective Bailey's like, "Am I the best father?" No.
Nah.
Like, he's like,
yeah,
no, obviously.
But
obviously
he
not.
sure
But I
did love
still love
those
my
movies.
children,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah. What
What's
was
your
your set
favorite?
piece? Or what was your guys? Let's see, because I'm still trying to think. I'm trying to buy
Mm.
time.
Well,
Well,
I mean, you guys already
Donovan
talked
led.
about
You're
the
good.
the apartment moment, which was, I mean, I wish they didn't market that moment because it was so great to see it like in full in the film from the break-in until that
Yeah.
final conclusion where Annika falls is just insane. But like Raul, I think the third act has a lot of my favorite moments, despite having most of my problems with the movie. I think like Gail's whole fight scene and chase
Oh.
sequence is so good, and I love that as these movies progress, you see the evolution of their defense and offensive techniques. Gail
Yeah.
hitting redial and turning around and shooting the closet is one of my favorite moments in this movie. I thought that was so smart, something we hadn't really seen. And in that third act too, I mean, like Raul said, Melissa Barrera, Sam, I felt like she really came into her own completely in
Mm-hmm.
this movie. She was her
Mhm.
own character. She wasn't just Billy Loomis's daughter.
Yeah.
Um, she was just, that was Sam, and it felt earned. Like it feels like, okay, yes, she is more than capable. She is smart, and she's a protector of her family, and it's very clear that she'll do anything to ensure that. And I appreciated a lot of what they did with the character, especially in the third act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I figured out mine. The set piece overall, I definitely same with the entire gallery because it brings the nostalgia back of seeing the movies. I didn't get a chance to rewatch all of them because I did want to watch all of the 1 through 5 before I went to go see it, but I didn't have time. But like seeing the little set pieces in the original stuff that they had there definitely brought back everything from all the movies. It's
Mm.
like doing the whole like the that's the shit that Jill wore or whatever. Um,
Yeah.
my favorite scene though, I think has got to be the entire train thing
Oh yeah.
Mm.
with Mindy. Aside from some of the funny shit, because I turned to Raul during when she got on with Ethan, and there was a ghost face like on a bench sitting forward with his hands crossed on his knees and stuff. I'm like, he's getting ready. He's listening to J. Cole right there. He's getting ready to
J.
go.
Cole right now.
He's getting hyped up right now. But the overall ambience and anxiety that induce, I love those types of scenes where they build it up and you see different people because it was Halloween weekend and everyone was dressed up as something aside from the cool little Easter eggs from all the different horror monsters and legends,
The
which we
Mikey
were trying to
mask.
figure out how copyright works in there. Maybe there's a
Oh,
loophole or
good. Yeah,
whatever.
that's a great question.
But the buildup of the lights not working and then seeing some of them stand up, get close, move out, the ghost face pulling up, like trying to grab the bar or something, or purposely doing it to scare Mindy, like, oh, sorry about that. And he just chuckles and sits down and continues on his day. That entire scene definitely makes me remember why it's still a horror movie, right? Aside from a
Mm.
slasher film because it got intense. And then at the end of the day, like, it's New York, first of all, and from the TikToks the countless TikToks that I've seen from Luis Barbosa saying it's New York. If an accident happened on Fifth Street train, we just gonna put you up on the bench because we not waiting 50 extra minutes. I'm like, okay, so her getting stabbed on the train and nobody saying anything is checking out on this movie.
It's pretty much checking out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty much checking out. It's validating and stuff. But yeah, that scene was, I think, my favorite aside from the set piece of the gallery.
Definitely.
Yeah,
one of
there's
the
something really
most
great
moments.
about that scene too. Like the whole Mindy thinking, "Oh, it's not Ethan," and her
Yeah.
reaction after she gets stabbed, she's like, "Oh, god damn it, I got it wrong again."
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah. The
fucking hilarious.
gaslighting too. Yeah, because we find out it is Ethan. It's just not
Yep.
him at that case. I'm like, damn, bro. I feel bad. If she's gonna die, she's gonna end up dying, not figuring out who the killer is, which is like the entire personality of what her family side is with Randy, which was the GOAT. I think that's my favorite character overall in the franchise was Randy. And then the sister after he passed, right, having the kids and whatnot, finding that out in Scream 5. But having that essence of Randy and Mindy and Chad definitely is cool, and it kind of sucked like seeing her and potentially dying, but apparently not. She's core 4, right? So she didn't die. But yeah. This
One
scene was good.
motherfucking floor, bro. One
Yeah,
motherfucking floor.
she says it. We are the core fucking
Yeah.
four.
Don, you were gonna say something?
Yeah, you were gonna say something?
Oh no, I love that scene too. It's very New York. It's one of the most New York scenes of the movie. It's one that I believe that's like the first sequence they ever showed us in the teasers. So it was one that I
Yeah.
was waiting to see like how it would factor into the movie. It's very close to the end, further than I was expecting. But it's great. I liken it to the Scream 3 dressing room scene, right? Where they walk into the closet of Ghostface costumes. And as a viewer, you know, you're like, okay, one of these costumes is not just hanging here on a rack. It's somebody. And yeah, when you see, obviously, we got Pinhead, Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers, Jason, but
Yeah.
there's also like 8 ghost faces. And you're like, okay, one of these is not just somebody in a mask.
It can't be.
I
Yeah,
really
so
want to
just
know how the copyright works on that, man.
Suspense.
I really want
Dude.
to know.
Scream has always like skirted around. I mean, they show Jason Takes Manhattan for like
On
a
the
few
TV,
seconds.
like actually, yeah.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
That's what Jason's watching. Jason is watching in his apartment in that opening scene.
Yep, Jason's
21
watching
later.
Jason.
Yeah.
Dude,
So
I gotta get a hold of those contract or whoever the executives, I guess, would be in charge of that whole copyright
Yeah,
thing.
you need to hit him up and ask him, like, hey, man, how can I
How'd
get
you
away
do
with
it?
this? in
Yeah,
my
how
movie?
can I do this in my shit
Yeah.
and not
You
have
can't
to
even do
worry
that on
about
YouTube.
payability? Yeah, you can't even do it on
Dead ass,
YouTube.
bro. Dead ass. Yep.
Yeah, because I was scared out of my freaking
No.
mind to show Portrait of a Lady on Fire and before I leave, so that's why I had to take it out. But
Yeah.
but apparently you can have freaking Jason X just on fucking Jason Takes Manhattan on your screen on Scream 6. But
Fucking-
yeah,
I'm glad it didn't turn out like Jason X stuff. Fucking no. Or
Yeah, true.
Jason in New York or whatever fucking movie that was.
well,
Oh god.
boys, of course we're gonna get into the final verdict here. We do scores out of 10, so we do also accept quarter and half scores. So we're gonna bottom to the top. Mikey, what is your final verdict on Scream 6?
Well, I mean, even in talking about it, like I said, once again, it's further solidified my feelings of both the positive and negative about this movie. I still love it. I mean, it's a Scream movie. Once again, these movies have never gone too wrong in my heart and my mind, and this one is once again probably my second lowest to the bottom in terms of like ranking these movies, but still a fun time, like a kick-ass movie with some of the best like horror set pieces in recent memory, despite having some like logistical issues within them. So I think I'm gonna stick with the same score on both rewatches. I'm gonna give it a solid 8.
All right, Don, what's your final verdict?
I think I'm in 8 as well. I like it quite a bit. I don't think I like it more than 5. I think that movie just has a special magic about it to me now. But 6 is a really good follow-up. I just love how they further these characters, all the different set pieces throughout. Great kills, awesome Scream sequel. But yeah, I think I'd go 8 out of 10.
All right, Luis.
I'm gonna go with a 9 out of 10 overall, just film wise, because I really do enjoy it from plot twist to character. And I'll probably, if I do a rewatch, it'll probably get lower, right? Especially with all of them, and then charting that overall the franchise. But a solid 9 out of 10, and it only lost a star because Chad did with all everyone wants with Jenna right now because she's popping off on Hollywood.
Yeah.
He got that kiss. But yeah, no, a solid 9 out of 10.
Should have been me.
It
Got
should have
him.
been many, man.
Oh man, I'm coming in with an 8.75 out of 10, y'all. Man, I have to rewatch number one. I really do. But this is number two in my ranking, right below Scream 1 and right above Scream 5. So, man, I don't know, man. I got to rewatch Scream 1. But also, this is me saying, please, y'all, put 3 and 4 on 4K already. I want to
Please,
see.
yes. Oh my
Yes.
gosh,
Yeah,
Yes,
yes.
dude.
We need
I'm
it.
We
begging.
were talking about that. Yeah, if they make a
Only
steelbook case
reason.
like the John Wick 1 through 3,
Oh,
John Wick's my favorite franchise overall, I think, of any movie. And I'm broke right now, but that steelbook is calling my name.
Oh
That's a
yeah.
yeah.
badass book, like just overall.
They've done steel books for 1 and 2 over the last couple of
Yeah.
years on their
Mhm.
25th anniversary. So I just hope they keep going and do 3 and 4. I would buy them at whatever price
Yeah.
tag instantly.
Sam. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's the whole reason, like, I haven't bought 1 and 2, and I was like, okay, I want to see what they're gonna do when all of them are released. We can do a little box set
Mhm.
or something.
Ooh, yeah,
But
Mm.
yeah.
I'm just like, dude, just please just get to it already. I want these movies on 4K already, because 5 and 6 are gonna 5 and 6. 5 is already on 4K. 6 is gonna come out in 4K.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
literally all we need is just 3 and 4. So just,
And there
guys,
you go.
please.
Yeah, box set. Or at least
Yeah.
the 1 through 4, right? Because the original, and then we got the 5 and 6, and what if they decide to make it more? But yeah, dude,
Yeah.
just hell.
Yeah, I'm really excited for what the future holds for this franchise. I'm hoping for 7. And honestly, y'all, I think people love this series, and I think that this movie's going all the way up to 10 movies. If you ask me, I think this
Ooh.
movie's going up to
Wow.
10. Yeah.
If they do
Uh,
it, let's hope it's better than Fast and Furious. I'm gonna still go see that number 10 because I
Sam.
grew up watching the Spanish,
Yeah.
but let's hope the writing team doesn't switch up.
Yeah. Hey man, if Bettinelli and Gillette still do them, I love that I'm saying it like the shaving cream. But if they keep doing this and they keep bringing in this fresh new take on Scream, I'm sure that by the 10th movie they'll still be freaking good. So
Let's hope
Yeah.
so.
yeah,
Here's hoping. Here's
Here's
hoping.
so
here's
yeah, here's
hoping.
open.
And with that said, this has been our review for Scream 6. We want to thank the Woodsboro Retrospective boys for coming on. Don, Mikey, thank you for guys for coming on, man. We really appreciate y'all. Of course, y'all want to plug where y'all can find your show and stuff like that?
Go for it, Don.
The Woodsboro Retrospective is over on Michael's channel. I believe your name is just Michael Chu
Just
on
Michael Chu. Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Yep, all of that stuff there. If you want to run back and get our far too in-depth thoughts on every movie in this series, it's all over there, and we'll have our Scream 6 video up soon, and maybe some stuff in the future. Who knows?
Yeah. Exciting times. We're definitely gonna expand beyond the Scream series. We've been talking behind the scenes and doing something else, and it seems to be happening. So I'm really excited about that. If you want to just keep up with me, YouTube right now, Michael Chu, as Donovan said, thank you, and Twitter, Michael Chu for real, and Letterboxd, Michael Chu for all non-Scream related movie takes.
Yeah, don't get
Yep.
offended because Scream 6 called y'all
Ah.
out.
For real.
That's the funniest
I'm
thing ever.
hurt, but it's
I'm
fine.
hurt. I am hurt. I am hurt. But it's okay. I will live. But yeah, guys, check it out, y'all. Check out the show. It's freaking awesome. And I love these boys. I'm glad that we had them here. And of course, you can keep up to date with everything that the Nerdcore is doing by going over
Yeah.
to nerdcore.com, Twitter at the Nerdcore _, Instagram at the Nerdcore. Also,
Find it
if you
out.
want to get
Yeah,
this
yeah.
episode live and early before it drops for the public, you can go over to patreon.com/the Nerdcore, pledge $1, and then you're in there, my friends. Of course, we also have a Discord link in our description of both the audio and video episodes, so that way you guys can discuss Scream with us. Also, if you are on video, please do us a favor. Click that subscribe button. Click the
Forget how long
notification
this
bell.
is.
Yep. Click those buttons because it means a lot, and it means that you're going to get a notification every single time this episode goes live. Leave a like. It would help us out a lot. And then if you're on the audio side, click on those little stars you see on the top. Give us a 5-star review. I know that Apple Podcasts and Spotify do let you do that. So go ahead and do that for us, please. It would help us out a lot. And, just do it. We deserve it. We freaking deserve it.
Yeah, you guys do. Thanks, guys. Again, that was really fun. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, that was
course,
great.
man.
That was fun. So it was fun seeing other people's introspect on it because we were
Mhm.
supposed to also take his brother to see it, but he chickened out because he's a weenie. But no,
I
he
see.
had work. He had work. But yeah, dude. Was that it, Raul? You want me to end it or what's up?
No, of course, y'all. We want to thank our Patreon supporters because they're the ones that make this possible. And our producer, Shane, you can follow him at XSRK on
Up, man.
Twitch. Thrifted IL on Twitter, and Prison City shit on Instagram. You can check out prisoncity.com, prisoncityvintage.com for all your vintage clothes needs, or you can go to Crest Hill, Illinois, and check out the store in person. Shane, thank you for being a producer of this show and the whole network. We really do appreciate you. And with that said, watch your back, y'all.
Hold on. We know there was a thing going around New York where they were doing that whole teaser with like people walking around as Ghostface,
hell no.
right?
Yeah.
Right. Don't worry, y'all. You know, if you're down in East Los, if you're down at the Bronx, if you're down in South Texas and Southmost the Valley, don't worry, it's not Ghostface. It's just my little cousin, Junior. He got out. You know, he's on his silver teeth activities. We forgot to chain him up.
Bruh.
He's just, he gets excited around Halloween,
Silver
even though it's
teeth
still like
activities.
6 months. Yeah, that's silver teeth activities, man. There's always in the Mexican household. There's always a little a little cousin that wants to dress up as Ghostface for whatever reason. They never seen the movie. Might have
At
seen
my
it
local
once.
zoo, bro. At my local zoo back in Redacted, Texas, they do an event on Halloween called something at the zoo. I'm not gonna make it.
Yeah, redacted at the zoo.
Yeah, redacted at
Why
the
would
zoo.
you say it and then redact it?
Yeah. Every single time we went, I can tell you that there was about 10 motherfuckers dressed up as Ghostface in that line. And let me tell you, once they took that mask off, I can paint you a picture of what they look like.
You think it's
And-
paparazzi with them silver teeth shining in your eyes. God
Yeah,
damn.
Oh God.
All right.
Yeah.
That's it on my part, man. You want to go ahead and end it, Raul? Put the
Yeah,
links
man.
on.
Thank you all so much, y'all. We appreciate you all. And we will see you all on Thursday. Hopefully. We'll see what the hell we
Hopefully.
talk about. Brad ain't here. Maybe we'll do Shazam Fury of the Gods early for y'all. But we'll see what goes down with that. But of course, watch your back, y'all. You never know what's going down these streets, man. Ghostface is out here. He can be 3. He can be a family. He can be your mom. Who knows? We'll see you guys later.